Hi, I'm Warren Brand. In my last video I gave a guided tour of the newly installed block section control modules, the temporary signal box switches and the track diagram of Woodgate Crescent Station of my garden railway. I haven't yet explained how the system detects the passing of trains through the sections, and so today I thought I'd describe how that part of the system works. Stick with me to see how the trains are detected at key points along each section and how the sensors are linked back to the control modules. This video was prompted by some questions from a mate who popped round the other day. One of his questions was, how does the system know where the trains are in the garden? This was a very sensible question, of course. If the system doesn't know exactly where each train is, how can it possibly control the starting and stopping of them? Some model train systems simply have dead sections of track just ahead of red signals. I wanted my garden railway system to realistically decelerate and accelerate trains, so I needed to include some train position monitoring capability. Basically, along the trackway are numerous sensors. Each is joined up to a long cable which is tucked in a shallow groove in the trackbed under the track, mostly hidden from view. The cables link back to the relevant signal box. Back here at Woodgate Crescent Station, a train's progress is noted at 5 key points along the track. The sensors are good old-fashioned reed switches, the ones used in alarm systems on windows and doors. You may wonder why I've used these relatively basic sensors instead of using infrared optos. I don't really have a good answer to that. I had some reed switches in stock when I started developing the system about 10 years ago and have found them very reliable. They are simple to use in the circuit, although I could do with using an oscilloscope to trace the trigger pulse shape with different combinations of resistors and capacitors. Each loco has a magnet, blue tacked underneath. The lower surface of the magnet is about 0.5 millimeter above the track height. The track sensors are mounted between the sleepers so that their top surface is about 0.5 millimeter below the track height. The 1 millimeter clearance gap works really well. There are 5 sensor positions for each and every block section. Let's take a ride on the front of a train and see them down the line. The first, which I call train in section, is typically 1 meter after a signal. Let's begin here. When this sensor is triggered, the system knows that a train is now occupying the section. In the case where there are junctions or complications, the relevant interlock manager would ensure no conflicting signals or point movements were then made. The second position then, which I call train approaching, is positioned about 3 meters before a signal. That would be just before a station, for example. If the train is due to stop at the end of the section, then, when this sensor is triggered, the system would reduce the power to the track slightly. Let's pause here for a moment too and spot the extra sensor in the track. This one is linked back to the previous section. I'll explain about that in a moment. The third sensor, called train final approach, would be about halfway along the station platform. As before, if the train is due to stop, there would be a further track power reduction when this sensor is triggered. The fourth, just before a signal, is called train waiting. If the approaching train is due to stop, then, sensing the train at this point, the system would cut the power to the track completely. If the train is not due to stop, the train position would still be displayed on the track diagram. After the signal, the passing train will trigger the train in section sensor for the next section ahead, just like the one at the beginning of this section we've been riding through. Triggering this section will, via the intermodule links, set the signal just past back to on. 2 meters after the signal is a track power breakpoint. This makes sure that the sections are fed with power by their relevant control module. The last one is the train out of section sensor. This provides a confirmation that the train has cleared the section. This information is relayed back to the previous section controller and the interlock manager if there is one. There's a whole load more to explain, and in later videos I will try and describe how other aspects of the system works. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I aim to create more videos in the next couple of weeks, but in the meantime, please do subscribe. As all YouTubers know, subscriptions, likes and helpful comments are great encouragement to post more content. Thanks for watching and bye for now.